Welcome back to Wreck and Rule. I'm Joe. Trust me, I'm Joe.
RJ.
And who's over there?
Brian.
Nobody cares. So, we had a request to do some formal type of proper gameplay / and or etiquette
for major tournaments.
Video for major tournaments. So, I didn't think it was that unknown. So, we will do it anyway, just in case you are attending. PAX Unplugged might be your first one coming up ever. Maybe you're new to TCGs, don't know. Maybe you're new to conventions, blah, blah, blah. Or you're attending your EIQ in the next week and a half.
Perfect timing.
So we're going to go over what we think, mainly what Joe thinks, is proper etiquette. You will probably think like, wow, Joe, that's a bit much, don't you think? And you could probably, say, yeah, that's fine. But this is what Brian shaking his head, we're not going to...
I'll think that. I'll think, Joe, that's way too much. Slow down.
If I'm over the line, you'll understand why, but you won't. And then we'll discuss reasonings and whatnot. So, the first thing you're going to do at a convention is have your own play area. And we will separate this 2-player play mat into 2 separate play areas. Mine is this mat, aka yours, and then that's theirs. Half and half a table, whatever. So, first thing you're going to do... just present your team to your opponent. You're not going to hide it while you shuffle and wait till the last second and go, this is me. You're going to show your opponent. This is me. We got it. Good, great. Step 2 is shuffling your deck. You are not going to shuffle like this in sections and then try to stack the deck and then present it to your opponent. You're going to shuffle like an adult in some form of where you take half of it and cram it in there and just do it like, a dozen times. If you want to riffle shuffle... you want to do one of these jobbies and bend your... those are your cards.
You paid money for them.
You go right ahead. You enjoy.
What about pile shuffling, Joe?
If you want to pile shuffle, you go right ahead. Just don't go 1, 2. Pile shuffle quickly because there is a time limit.
I would also say now is the time, if you're unfamiliar with a character card you're sitting across from, ask your opponent, may I see this character, or ask them to explain what the character does to you.
Correct. So
don't wait till the middle of the game and be like, oh, what does this character do?
Right. I forgot. Can you flip them over? So you're shuffling like a normal person. If you don't know your opponent, which is this entire video is based on you not knowing your opponent, keep an eye on them. Use your eyes. Don't look at your shuffle. Look at their shuffle.
I haven't taken my eyes off your whole video yet.
I know. If you see their shuffling normal, like that, probably trustworthy. If you see them doing one of these things, and just these things, you don't have to say anything. When it comes time to present your deck, you shuffle their deck. You don't say a word, you just shuffle. But don't riffle shuffle.
Now another good...
don't riffle shuffle your opponent's deck. Bad idea.
Another good habit would be not to look at your deck as you're shuffling too, right? Because you don't want to look at the bottom card.
Do not angle your deck like this as you're shuffling to see what the bottom card is. No, you angle it down and away, and you look at your opponent, not your deck.
And I mean, this is not necessarily...
Of course, Brian had to talk.
It was like maybe 2 minutes. I had to jump in. So, trying to make sure
Thank you, White Claw.
Don't shuffle in a way where you're showing the bottom card to your opponent as well.
Right.
Because they will try to maybe tap. Oh, that card's on the bottom. You keep it there. Good. When you're done shuffling, when you're satisfied, present your deck to your opponent. Put it in the middle area or somewhere close to them. Don't shove it on their characters. And don't put it under your left elbow. There you go. Yeah. Oh, do you want to cut over here? All the way back over here. Just. And if they're looking around, picking their nose, putting their phones, like, do you want to? Do you want?
How many times is an appropriate cut?
2 is fine. You want to do 1, 2, and then done, then stop, or you can just say tap, whatever.
Can I jump in for a second?
Who could stop you?
Nobody. So, I would recommend cutting your opponent's deck, because if you just tap, and if you do that first, you put them in like an awkward position a little bit, where it almost seems rude to then cut their deck a little bit. And in other games that we played in the past, like that has been a method that people have used to cheat because they're hoping that their opponent does not cut their deck.
Right.
So just to make it easy, I'd recommend just cutting your opponent's deck.
You're also allowed to, shuffle. You don't have to just cut. You can do one of these jobbies. Just don't riffle shuffle. I just canceled your cut. That's great.
That's fine.
Deck placement. Where would you like to place your... Oh, man.
You just shuffled.
Great. Yeah, right? It's not, yeah. Try not to place your deck right here. You're hot, don't do that. Force a habit for me. I place it as far away from myself as possible and as close to my opponent as possible so you can see that I'm not touching that deck unnecessarily.
I like to put mine a little bit further back because I like my scrap pile in front of the deck. Personal preference.
That's going to be... Yeah. I put my scrap pile right here near me so I can see it faster rather than hiding it away from me. And I don't want to give my opponent... give them easy access to see that.
Right. That's true.
But if you do have a scrap pile and your opponent needs to see it, show me how not to do it. Don't just reach and grab your opponent's scrap pile. Ask.
Joe, may I see your scrap pile, please?
No. If they say no, you call a judge.
Yeah.
Just say yeah. If they look at it, do whatever they want with it. Great story. If they say no, all right, you got to call a judge, whatever. But just ask. Don't reach across. Don't lick your hand when you do it and you take it.
That was my next move.
Gross. Next, you're going to decide on first. However, whatever method you want that you both agree on. Don't take out your trusty two-headed coin and go, I'll take heads. You ask them. Always offer them. Do you want 1 or 3?
3.
Is it 50-50? Make sure you show them that there's an actual one.
Or even too, like just say, hey, are you cool if we just flip this token?
Roll a die, flip a token, arm wrestle, whatever you guys want to do. Whatever you both agree on.
Something.
High roll, odds even, 2 dice, 3 dice, 10 dice, whatever. I'm going to choose to go first. We're going to draw our cards.
Yep.
I'm going to take my 4th. Let's say start a game. Easy. What's next on the agenda? Actions and upgrades. We'll skip around. When you play an action, don't play it over here. Don't play it under your elbow. Don't scrap it immediately. Put it somewhere where
That's the big one. Do not scrap it.
Please don't scrap it. Because I don't know, did you play that? Was it scrapped?
Right.
Were you there before? Put it somewhere your components see it. You don't have to put it where I put it. You don't have to put it, if you want to put it on your characters, whatever. It's somewhere they can see it and you both know I play this action this turn.
So you put it over here?
Don't put it on your opponent's pile. Don't go, I'm playing Zap on him. Just try to be neat. See, this is your play mat. Stay on your side. Not tough. Secret actions. Don't put your secret action back here at all. That's where some people put their hands. I don't need this happening. Bad idea. Put it up front. 1, you won't forget about it. 2, they'll say, what's that card doing there? It's a secret action.
Also, make sure you're very clear about saying, I'm playing a secret action.
Maybe someday in the future someone will have a token to put on top of secret actions.
That would be nice. That would be very nice.
Give your opponent time to respond to a secret action. Why don't you play a card? Oh, it's too late. You already played it too fast. It's like, press the advantage. I'll go infiltrate. No, that's not infiltrate, but I don't feel like digging for one. So yes, give your opponent time,
What about reminding your opponent? Hey, I just played this press the advantage. You have a secret action down.
So in the rules, it says you don't have to remind your opponent of their triggers and whatnot. So you do have to play the press and maybe pause for a second,
Mm-hmm.
just do nothing and say, no, I'm going to attack now. And if they still haven't said anything, they might call a judge on you. They might not. There was enough time to go by. Judge might rewind it. You don't have to remind them. And if they do remind you, they're nice opponents.
Yes.
Good for them. Upgrades?
Upgrades. Where do upgrades go?
Do you want to do upgrades? I'll let you talk. I've been talking a lot, right?
So the official ruling in the rules and the FAQs or whatever says for upgrades, weapon, left.
Technically, weapon says to the left of the character.
Right. Now, having a not so wide playmat, it's going to get very dicey very quickly.
Well, if I have 3 upgrades, 3 weapons at least.
Right. That's a 3 wide team. Now there's combiners, 5
Where did my
wide.
scrap pile go? Ooh,
Right. So
it's my scrap pile.
we like to go down here.
What if I want to tap my character? What if I have to tap all 3 of my
Right.
characters? No? Okay. Back to you.
Weapons on the left, we like. Utilities in the middle. Point of contention amongst many people. Armor on the right. Gives you room. Tap, untap, tap, untap.
You mean here?
Yes. Oh, what happened?
Oh,
Was this in your flip? Was this in your flip or was
no,
that?
it's his weapon.
Ah. Right. Here, we think there's plenty of room.
That's how the rules read in the WotC things. It's to the left, to the right, directly below. I can understand directly below, but 3 characters, 4 characters, it's a bit much. So most people recognize trying not to be so clutterish.
Should you put your upgrade under your mat?
Under my mat?
Yes. No. I think this is the most commonly accepted way.
I've seen...
Obviously, utility and armor is, again, a point of contention. It could be swapped. All 3 of them could be swapped. As long as they're down here and they're visible for people to see. This is another thing I don't personally care for.
I've seen people do this.
Yeah.
Do you know what that utility is?
I have no idea. I cannot read upside down.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
Right. It's a data pack.
If you're burying your card under there, I mean...
It becomes a little more dicey with stuff like grenade launcher that's supposed to scrap after you use it.
I use visual cues.
Mm-hmm.
If I can't see the picture of the grenade launcher, I'm not paying attention. Like, Brian, anything?
Personal preferences.
I'd say really the big area that the order of the upgrade matters is Megatron Living Weapon. Now,
correct.
He's not used a ton, so it's not often a big deal.
And mounted missiles.
That is true. Correct. Which is used a little bit more often. And I used to feel very, very strongly that it should be weapon, armor, upgrade.
But why did you feel that?
Because for me personally, the weapon is the most important. Like, it takes priority as the most important upgrade. Then the armor, and then utilities are more, planned as often. So, luckily or unluckily, I have Joe always nagging at me to fix the position. But I think it does help. Like, I think that there is a benefit to keeping it in a standardized way, because like Joe said, some people are very, visually oriented. Mm-hmm. They're looking at where it is in relation to the character.
Yeah, if you put it on your character or whatever, now it becomes, well, did you flip that?
If you put your grenade launcher up there, if it's about to scrap, a one-time use thing, okay, that's fine. That'll be a reminder, what's that doing there?
Right.
I have to scrap it. But permanent things...
What do we got next?
Combat.
Combat.
Do you want to do attack or do you want to do defender?
I'll attack you.
You'll attack me? Okay.
Yes. So I'm going to play my grenade launcher on General Optimus Prime. Okay. I'm going to announce that General Optimus Prime is attacking... We'll go into Bumblebee.
Okay. What? May I ask you a question, sir?
Sure.
Why is General Optimus Prime on top of my damage token now?
That's just the way how I do things.
Oh, you have 14 miles of space. Can you please stay on your vicinity?
Plenty of room.
Thank you.
Plenty of room. So Prime's going to go into Bumblebee.
Okay.
That's all you need is some type of visual.
Correct. Yes.
Or audible confirmation.
Or just maybe show your opponent.
Right. So I'm going to flip for attack.
I'm going to flip too.
Okay.
I'm going to flip.
Why are you
flipping first? Are you going to attack or what?
Well, I just started.
You said you were attacking. I'm defending.
Right. I just started.
Oh.
Give your opponent some time. I'm going to technically attack flips go first.
Complete proper etiquette is attacks go first.
So I have 4, 8, 9, 10.
Three. I take 7. What about how you flip? I saw what you did there. You picked up the deck, and you flipped them rather quickly.
Yep. I'm okay with that.
That's fine. I've seen people, a.k.a. Brian, do some of these. They'll pick up the card and bring it dual hand and bring it across the mat.
I do that as well, sometimes, usually. That was literally the first time I picked up the deck to flip.
This is one thing about slow play, Brian.
I don't know why Joe thinks I play slow. I have to launch myself across the stage.
I generally like to put my flips where my character is, who's attacking or defending. It's
that double hand thing. This all comes into the play for slow play. When the clock's ticking down and that orange player, for some reason the orange player is going to time. Right, yeah. What you don't need is, for some reason someone has their deck upside down and they flip a card and they have to stop and they have to examine it and they have to put it down. And their deck is still the same way and they have to examine it and flip it around. And you're sitting there, it's like, it's orange. The orange. Fix your deck so you could, flip in a proper, speedy sequence.
I'm going to throw a suggestion out there.
Please. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So what I would say is, a lot of times if you were about to flip a ton of cards, group them into the reasons why you're flipping them. So 2 to begin with, right? Put them in one little area, and then if you have bold 3, put that in a separate little area nearby.
I'll help you with that.
Not
Ryan.
near upgrades.
I'll do that visually.
That would be great, Joe.
Great. All right, let's not do near upgrades. Great. All right. I got bold 2 for some reason, and I played like 13 actions somehow. That's what's going to happen. Cliff Jumper's attacking. I'm going to count first.
Okay.
We're going to do anticipated. Whatever. Gone. We're going to count first. I get 2 flips. 2 more, that's 4. 3 more, that's 7. 3 more, that's 10. Right? 2. 2. 3. 3. White. Right, Brian? Separate where each flip came from.
Yeah.
Count it first.
Mm-hmm.
That way you don't go as one or put them all in one pile and your opponent goes, how many did you flip there? And you have to read 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 2. Just one easy count and then count at the end. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Blocking 4.
Boom. That attack took what? 4 seconds? 18 seconds maybe?
And if you flip a ton for either attack or defense, it doesn't hurt at least yourself to double check it just to make sure that your math was correct. There have been moments where I did that double check and the original number was off by 1. So
I like splitting mine as well. 2 for the attack, 2 for Prowse Bolt, 2 supercharge 1, supercharge 2, and 2 for the white. Show like little variance. Your opponent's like what, where? Check with your opponent. Good. 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 What about attack triggers? I have it a B attack trigger.
Yep.
I'm going to attack. You have 2 tap characters.
Yep.
I am going to scrap and draw. Is that correct?
Yep. I would announce it a little bit more.
Nope.
No?
It's not correct. Especially for a character like that. When the attacker attacks. You attack. You declare who you're attacking.
Okay.
Because if I do this and I could see, oh, I just picked up 2 double oranges.
Right.
I'll attack someone who I could maybe push damage on. Declare the defender first. Before you do any of the attacker triggers. Good. Attack, defend, scrap pile. We did that. Deck placement. Taking notes. You want to do taking notes?
I've only had one person take notes against me, so I don't know necessarily.
You're allowed to take notes
Yeah.
in a tournament setting.
I believe. I don't know if your opponent has access to your notes as well. Maybe between rounds. Maybe we should have read up on that a little bit more.
I guess they could see you writing across the table.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I'll attack here. I'm going to take the bashing shield. You're not writing anything down. How long did that take you?
13 seconds.
It should take you about 3 seconds to write down bashing shield or abbreviate BS or something.
Yes. If you have Joe's handwriting, it might take you like 0.3 seconds.
Man.
Wow. Oh my God, that's weird.
Did you guys talk about green pips?
No.
So,
Well, yeah, that's a good one.
Suggestion which Joe gets on me about. Before you take any green pips, handle the damage.
Do
put
the damage
out.
first. We understand you're about to grab the Press the Advantage because it's an amazing card. Deal the damage to your character before you forget to place the damage on there. KO the character if necessary before you forget to remove the character.
Yes.
Yes.
That's happened to me quite a few times.
He's dead. Oh, I'm going to take this for that.
Offensive player goes first, defensive player goes second. It's very important. I have a bashing shield here, you have a sparring gear here.
I'll take the sparring gear.
Okay, then I'm going to take the bashing shield.
That was dumb of me.
I'm going to pass on the bashing shield.
Wow, I get to keep my...
Right, so if I were to go first and pass on the bashing shield, stupidly, you could take the sparring gear free of
You
charge.
go too quick in front of your opponent, your opponent's be like, just don't do that. Attack triggers, go to describe, taking notes. Misplays. We had one at the EIQ at CBS. I don't like how I ruled it.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody, I think they attacked, and there might have been an Acid Storm on the board, and they like flipped too many bolts. Wait. And the call was they should only had like 2 cards.
Yep.
And so I determined that just get these cards and place them on top. And it was only after I did that I said that was like a terrible idea.
Yeah, because they saw the cards.
Because now they know the exact order of what's coming up and what they could possibly draw in their next turn. As players, try to come to an agreement first. Then if neither one of you can agree, call the judge, let them decide. In this type of situation, shuffle it back in. You've got to randomize it. There's no other way.
There's some instances where it doesn't really matter. You're going first, attacking. You're flipping 4. You should only flip 2. Oh, it doesn't matter because the next 2 are coming on defense anyway.
Or maybe your opponent now knows that, hey, if I have the new Megatron's coming out, I want to flip him. I want those cards scrapped. I don't want him flipping them on defense.
Right, but that's on the attacker.
So what I would say
Before he
is
defends.
in this situation, I would just call a judge.
Right.
This way, there's no.
I would say
Everything is above board.
I would say try to come to an agreement with your opponent first. I'm sorry. I apologize. I flipped too many. How do you want to proceed?
Right.
And if he's like, I want you to burn all your cards, you go, we're going to need a judge here.
Right.
If you don't like what they say.
And there's a lot with the newer mechanics too, right? Fire, drive, draw. I'm supposed to draw a card.
Right.
If you miss your trigger, I've seen where you missed your trigger. You're supposed to draw a card.
Fire drive is a good one because if they flip over like I don't know, a mountain missile for some reason, I want that in my hand. I'm sorry you flipped it. I can't give you that back. It's a bit much.
But there's the flip side of that too, where now there's 2 orange pips in there when it should be in your hand.
Yes, like an improvised shield. You want that in your opponent's hand. Yeah.
So just try to remember your triggers. If you're going to a big tournament, I'd say play a deck you're familiar with, so you know all your triggers. Try not to go something. Oh, this is the very first time I'm playing it. Very first time I'm using this character.
You have to learn a lot of the other cards also. Like
right.
Gyro Blaster called me another one. I flipped one too many. I was like, whoops, sorry.
So yeah, my thing is be responsible for yourself before you're responsible for your opponent.
Right.
Although you do have to keep both in mind.
Right.
I'm someone who in my life has never ever gotten a detention.
Me too.
Right.
Never in my life.
At Origins, I got
Detention.
a point.
Detention.
I was given. I actually get points. I forget what it was. Like I got like a flag.
If you allow your opponent to mess up and they mess up also, you both get warnings. Yeah.
Right. So like
What was it, Brian?
my opponent, they were playing aerial bots. Like I was not. I was there just practicing because I'm going to get more practice. I'd already qualified. I want to try the deck because it was basically brand new, and my opponent wasn't sure whether or not they'd played an armor that turn. They weren't sure if they accidentally scrapped it with their flip, basically after it flipped out, and the judge was right there and overheard it. And then because both of us didn't maintain the game state, we both got a point for that. I
guess as a point to that, if you're unsure, if you ever play, I guess, an upgrade, or did he overrode it? He scrapped it.
No. He did his either defense or offensive flips. And I guess it was near that card. He was playing Aerobots.
Oh, he wasn't sure if that was in his flip or he played it.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, don't flip. I'm going to attack you. I'm going to pull my cards here and scrap them. Flip away from your everything. Away from your upgrades. Away from your secret actions. Away. You didn't say like he was playing like an overwrite, something like, did I just overwrite for turn or whatever? I get to play an upgrade. I didn't have one. If you ever, for some reason, do that and you're trying to make a note of, overwriting, make yourself a note. Turn it sideways, turn upside down. Says, oh, this is my mental cue. I already played my action.
I've seen Brian put like toys or whatever on a card.
Something. Tokens, toys, whatever reminder. Right, we did take back. I'll take backs.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in a tournament setting, like money's involved or whatever, EIQ, whatever, you flip, whatever, draw a card, and like, you're right here at this stage here. It's like, you have to ask your opponent right then there, do you mind if I do? You can't just place it back on top and flip back over. No. Say, do you mind if I take this back?
No, I don't mind.
Oh, your opponent was nice. Now he just lost the game because of it. Be careful about that.
So what are your thoughts on same situation? Played it, doesn't change the game state. Hey, do you mind if I take that back? I'd rather play something else.
Well, it's a grenade launcher, so yeah, that's fine. You could take that back. I mean, I'll allow that. But if somebody does one of them where it's like they like place it here and like they're thinking like, I just want to go here. I think this is fine because you're still like not in the.
That's what I mean. It hasn't really changed the game state at all. Hey, your opponent gets to see a free card. Do you mind if I take it back? I'd rather play something else.
It's up to you guys. Yeah.
And I think at the Gen Con final there was even a time when someone played a turbo booster on a.
Well, that was an illegal play. It was a little different.
So how would you handle that? I played a turbo booster. He's not a car. Do you mind if I take it back?
How did they roll it? They made him take it back to hand, didn't they?
I think. Well, so that was different because I think he had attacked and everything. Like if you catch it beforehand, again, it's your discretion.
That is a judge call.
Right.
If I ever saw one, that's tough. So take backs and judge calls and mistakes. That's all lumped together.
What I would also maybe say is my personal philosophy about that at a tournament is if my opponent makes a little goofy mistake or they change their mind with a grenade launcher, my philosophy is I'll let that happen. But for me personally, if I make a mistake, I don't ask for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I kind of use
Right,
that as
yeah.
an opportunity to, well, I messed up there. I need to be more careful next
Right.
time.
Right.
So I will give my opponent like some leeway, basically, not a ton.
Right.
I'm not gonna let them take advantage of the situation. But I don't want to win because they made like a silly, goofy mistake or they forgot
Exactly.
to do something, and like the timing window is still okay
Yeah.
to
Hasn't changed
to
the board.
reverse the
Yep.
game state.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
If that's all in order, that's fine. Endgame or sideboards. I think we played a game we KO'd our characters. Try to keep
Yeah.
your KO'd characters in the vicinity. Don't throw them off to the side where I don't know who I KO'd, what their health is. People might be tracking damage for tiebreakers, maybe, possibly.
Combiners, things like that, where damage matters.
If you forget where your combiners are, did I flip that character for this turn? Do I combine this turn? Just keep it nearby-ish.
Sentinels have KO pile flips. Just be aware of that type of
If
stuff.
you need to keep like a little tracker on your characters in the KO pile, say, did I flip him? I flipped this guy. If you need a transform token, that would be a nice thing to for someone to make. Place it somewhere so you remind yourself, oh, I transformed him this turn. Especially in card decks where you're constantly flipping, playing Start Your Engines, and you're like, did I flip this turn? I don't remember. Use a token. Use something. Whatever you want to do. Tokens are great. Make sure you tell your opponent what the token is.
Right.
Don't just start placing things everywhere. The game is now over. I lost. What's next?
Good game.
Good game.
It's usually proper and nice to shake your opponent's hand. I know it sucks losing. Shake hand, pound.
Good game. I am a germaphobe, but I don't like touching people at conventions. Therefore, I am not touching people. I am verbally communicating.
Right.
Good game, sir.
Right. You can do that as well. Or hey, I don't like.
I also saw my opponent licking his hand the entire time. I'm not going to touch his hand. Brian wants to say something real bad.
If you lose, again, I understand kind of like you may be angry or frustrated, but don't like get cleaned up at the table, go walk away, take a breather,
Yeah.
something. Like don't take it out on your opponent. At the same time, like if you win,
Don't be a sore winner.
and also you might be trying to be kind by like asking, like giving them advice or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that might not be the situation that they want to.
They might
Right.
not want to hear it. Yeah.
Right. So, let them ask. Like sometimes other players will ask, do you have any advice, something like that.
Who should offer the handshake first? The winner or the loser?
I think the loser should.
The loser?
I don't have an opinion on that.
I don't have an opinion on that either.
Maybe I just lose more than I win.
Well, there might be some evidence behind that.
I know something I do that I should probably stop with is if I win, I'll sit there and talk to the person and try to just like joke around with them, which probably isn't cool
They
because
might not want to hear
exactly,
that. Right.
exactly. And I know I do that, and I know I have to stop that. But yeah,
And you can also maybe like feel out your opponent. For some
Right.
people, that's totally fine. And, like they're kind of cool with it. But
You can
other
usually
people,
pick up a
like
vibe
they're
off, yeah.
frustrated.
right, exactly.
Just try your best to kind of get those visuals.
If you could feel they're frustrated, I probably would let them offer the handshake because I don't think
Right.
they want to like deal with that mentally right now. Like I don't want to shake your hand. Just let them be.
One thing I always try to do too, if I remember myself too, is just remind them, hey, if you sideboarded on sideboard, because there's been times where I forgot to unsideboard. Win or lose, I just try to say, hey, just don't forget to unsideboard there.
Would you like to go over sideboards?
I don't.
Okay, so you won that last game.
Sure.
What happens next?
I won the last game, so now it's my decision. Am I going to sideboard a character? I let my opponent know, no, I will not be sideboarding a character.
So that's your team.
That's my team.
This will be my team also.
So you present your team to each other, and then you sideboard your deck together to save time. I think...
And because people have asked, you do not have to show your opponent the battle cards that you sideboard in or out.
Or how many you're doing. No numbers. You don't say,
Right.
I'm placing 10 or 5 or just...
I've had a situation where I decided to sideboard my character. I won, sideboarded a character, and then I went right into sideboarding my deck. I assumed my opponent was doing the same thing. Keeping
So you
the same
didn't
team.
You didn't wait for them to...
Correct. I went into sideboarding my deck. sideboarded, switched out all my cards, looked up, my opponent has a completely different team. So, knowing I screwed up, I didn't go back and unsideboard my cards. I said, that's on me. That's my deck now. So yeah, give your opponent some time and make sure you have all relevant information before you start messing with your deck.
Do you want to go over sideboards after the matches?
Meaning what?
You said what to sideboard and what you had written down and keep them in a separate area.
Yeah. So I know me personally, in my deck box, and most deck boxes that you buy have them. They have a little divider. I use it for your sideboard. You know, put your deck on one side, your sideboard on the other side. I also, in some of my sideboards, this is what the inserts with the packs, they make great use of this. So I'll write down what I'm putting in and what I'm taking out of my sideboard, just so I know, and it's easier and it's faster between each game. Because in a tournament setting, you only have 50 minutes for 3 games, and that goes by before you know it in most cases. I know I just screwed up my sideboard for this deck.
One more thing I like to do is once I have my main deck put back together, is I like to give it a quick shuffle right there. And obviously, like, you're going to shuffle again when you sit down with your opponent, but this way, if time is tight, if you're one of the last people to get done in that round, like, you don't have to scramble to do it as much next round.
Mm-hmm. And the winner always reports with the match slip if there was one present. But if you sign, get a pen somewhere off your opponent, whatever, winner takes it up.
And if you drop, make sure you don't mark that.
Make sure you mark the drop.
Yeah. I've had a couple situations where people forgot to mark their dropping.
Make sure people sign the slip also.
Yeah. Hey, where'd this person go? Oh, well, they dropped.
And double check too, like, make sure that, say if it says down there like 2 wins, 1 loss, just make sure those numbers are correct and make sure that,
because that does matter, right?
The winner and loser is marked correctly, because it does sometimes happen where people write down the wrong thing, they're not paying close attention. Doesn't hurt to double check.
I think that is it for etiquette. Once again, keep your playmat clean. I don't need you attacking me and then you do this and then something is happening, invading my area, and I'm like, you have, 14 inches this way? You don't need your characters up here with your thing here and your hands here. You utilize your whole playmat. Use the whole thing. You have all this space. You put your deck here, whatever there. This is here. Look at this great room we have.
I don't know if you guys can tell. Joe is a big stickler for personal space, and
I just don't understand why you want my playmat. Why?
In addition, one more thing to maybe note is just verbalize what you're doing. Like, if you say what you're doing, it just makes things easier for everybody.
Especially if for some reason you're being recorded. It could just be dead silent. All they would get is this portion, and just things are happening. Like, what is he saying? Like, I was watching the video of the EIQ. I'd flip a character, and I would visually point to here.
Right.
So my opponent, people are talking too loud nearby. You can't hear anything. Oh, he pointed to him. What's Flip Jumper do? Oh, he's drawing a card. Got it. Great.
Speaking of videoing, if you're not comfortable with being videoed,
just say no.
Yeah.
They have to stop it, right? They have to stop it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it works for, like, the Wizards, like, final.
I'd assume they make you sign something to be on. If they'd be like, I'm uncomfortable on camera, they would just not do it.
Right, but if we came up to you and say, hey, do you mind if we record your game against one another?
Say no.
Yeah, you're not hurting our feelings.
Hurt my feelings.
I don't have feelings.
That's correct. We went over how to flip cards correctly. I just feel like blue players, careful with the slow play, because we don't win games all that often based on time because of those orange tiebreakers sometimes.
Right.
Blue players, just learn your deck. If you know a character has tough 36, get your deck ready and just do it. Don't sit there and go 1, 2, and then you're looking and like, did the tough come from here? And then
and don't be afraid to kind of give your opponent a little reminder, like, hey, we're under a time limit here. Can we try and speed things up? I don't want to call a judge.
If you have 2 cards in your hand and you take 4 minutes for a play, what are you doing? Come on.
And then also, if there's no way to manipulate your deck, have stuff get put on top or draw. If you have 1 card left and you know you're about to have to shuffle, like, it doesn't hurt to tell your opponent, hey, like, I'm going to pre-shuffle.
You could save time that way, yeah. Make sure they're okay with it.
Make sure that there's no way that they can make you draw. Like, just make sure that before you offer it, that it's not.
Hey, is it okay if I pre-shuffle?
Yes.
No, you asked me.
Is it okay if I pre-shuffle?
No, I'm about to scrap your entire hand. Yeah, just wait.
And be cognizant of winning and losing states, right? If you know there's no way you're winning, and you're like at the end of it, at the end of a game, just hey, let's go on to game 2. Let's not try to draw the game out because again, there's a time limit and every second
If
counts.
I have 3 wide and you're down to Ironhide and I have full health,
Right, probably not winning that game. I'd like to, but I'm probably not winning that game. Hey, let's just go to game 2. Things happen.
they do happen. I think that is it. Judge calls, misplays, scrap pile, deck placement, clean play area, take notes, combat, attack, defense triggers. I think we got it all. Orange and blue slow play sideboard. End game.
Drill face?
Drill face is not applicable. Secret actions, upgrades, where they go. Competitive. Nope, wrong. Incorrect. I think that was a fairly comprehensive-ish version of how Joe and RJ and Brian would be etiquette-ish towards players we've never met before
Mm-hmm.
in a highly professional-ish tournament setting. If you're sitting with your friends at the local weekly board,
Right.
you could flip at the same time, you can
Right.
mess around, whatever. But at tournaments, when money's on the line, slow it down just a couple seconds and wait. You're done with your tax flip, I'm going to flip my defensive flips. Don't do the same time. Because someone flips 1 card too many and you're not watching, you might lose that character. I'm not sure why Drill Face is there, but...
Because he's the best
yeah,
toy
he's
of all
Drill
time.
Face.
He does what he wants.
Closing etiquette arguments?
No argument, but I would say that probably as we get closer to PAX Unplugged, we'll talk more about just small things that you can do at a convention to make your experience easier and less stressful. We might even talk a little bit about our local area since it's in our neck of the woods, where you should go to eat, etc.
Yeah.
Around the convention center.
It's a good one.
Give you guys directions to Joe's house. You guys can stay here.
Incorrect.
Maybe we'll even grab dinner or drinks with you guys.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
White Claw.
Not White Claw.
That's it for etiquette.
Thanks for watching.
Record roll.